It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the Magazine Innovation Center at the Meek School of Journalism and New Media and the Act 7 Experience. This is the 7th year we have the ACT Experience. For those of you who don't know what ACT stands for, it's Amplify, Clarify, and Testify, the future of print in a digital age. You know, when I started the Magazine Innovation Center back in 2009, almost everybody in the industry thought that Samir went nuts. That, I mean, he loves nothing but print, and he can't see all this digital thing coming in, and the future is all digital, the future is the tablets. And my last visit to New York, I heard that the tablet was dead for media use. The homepage was dead for media use. All of a sudden I said, but aren't those things like 10 years old? Today I read an article about the smartphone is dying. Probably they forget to charge it or something, I don't know. But the thing is, we persevered. The Magazine Innovation Center expanded. The ACT Experience grew from 14 speakers to 42 speakers, which you will have the pleasure of hearing some of them tonight, some more tomorrow, plenty on Thursday. And in which the theme this year is magazines matter, print matters. And we have a lot of study, we have a lot of research to actually sort of like put our dollars where our mouth is. It's not like we're not just living in a theory world, but in a reality world. But the most important thing is, I need to tell you, is that I have been here now at the University of Mississippi. I'm finishing my 33rd year. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I was 10 when I started teaching. So now I'm like 43, going on like, give or take like 20. Actually 21 to be exact. Since my wife is a mathematician, I have to be careful counting those years. But during those years, I mean, I've done good things, I've done bad things, but there's one person to blame for anything good I've done or anything bad I've done. It's the guy who hired me and took a gamble on me when I interviewed for the job at the University of Mississippi in 1984. He was back then the chair of the Department of Journalism that offered me the job and actually took a big gamble on me. I mean, I was a nobody who just graduated from the University of Missouri in Columbia, and said, we are starting this new magazine service journalism program that the Meredith Corporation is going to fund. Are you interested? I said, where is the University of Mississippi? And then he left 6 years after I was on the job. He became the dean of the School of Journalism in Nebraska. And then in 2009, when we started the Magazine Innovation Center, he came back as the dean of the School of Journalism and New Media at the University of Mississippi. So please welcome Dean Will Norton, who's, every time I say who's my boss, I know exactly what he's going to say.
Yeah, every year we say there's nobody who's Samir's boss.
My wife is here, come on.
She's not your boss either, are you, Marie? Actually, we should tell you a little bit about the journalism school because it's an interesting story in that we go against the trend. One of the first places that we advanced, we were just a print department of maybe 100 majors 30 years ago. And then we added broadcasting, and we've produced a lot of outstanding broadcasters. Probably the biggest name is Shepard Smith, but there's another one named Sharon Alfonsi, who's with 60 Minutes, who you'll see once in a while. And over time, the magazine program probably has produced the most outstanding graduates, because when we were looking for somebody for a magazine program that was funded by the Meredith Corporation because of the generosity of one of our graduates, Jim Autry, who was editor-in-chief and vice president. Jim Autry helped us, and we looked everywhere, and we couldn't find anybody who really knew the magazine business. And then Ken McDougall at Meredith said, I just heard a young man who's finishing his PhD at Missouri who knows more about magazines than anybody that I know. And so we hired Samir. When I offered him the job, he showed this frown and didn't want to take the job because it wasn't enough money. And I said, Samir, that's all I've got. So he finally agreed to it. Negotiating with him is not an easy thing, but when you have no more money, he either has to accept the deal or not. And then in 2009, we came back, and there was a donor who left $5 million. You don't name a school for $5 million. But before I got on campus, he called me on my cell phone. I was in a Mexican restaurant in Lusaka, Zambia. And he said to me, Becky and I have decided to leave our estate to Ole Miss. And so the journalism school now has an estate way beyond what most schools, way bigger than us, will have for an endowment, maybe 2 deans down the line. But in addition to that, he started a not-for-profit company that produces income for our school. All the profits from the not-for-profit go into a foundation that come to our school. And just within the last week, he announced that they have started a website about graphene and are bringing people here, first of all to Vanderbilt, and then they'll be bringing people from all over the world here. They have a trade show that will be on graphene in Las Vegas. Where did he get the idea? He got the idea here at one of the ACT programs that occurred maybe 5 years ago. And he had never heard of graphene, but he's one of these people that locks in on something and then he can't let go of it. So we feel like the students at Ole Miss have a real benefit. We've gone from 450 majors 6 years ago to more than 1,500 now. Most journalism programs have gone down 10% or 25%, but we have an interesting development in our school because we have all these people supporting it, and of course we have Samir. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dean Norton. And talking about my negotiating skills, how can you get money from someone without giving them anything in return? So you invent this idea about investing in the future magazine media industry leaders, that you are not investing in the instant money that you are giving us now, but you are investing in the future leaders. And if the magazine students, would you please stand up? So I am truly thankful for my sponsors who helped fund this. This is probably the only event on campus that does not cost the university a single penny, because the generosity of our sponsors, led by James Elliott, both companies, Ad and Ideas, and James Elliott. Jim, where are you? Thank you. Hearst Magazines. Dan. Thank you. Democrat Printing, DP&L, Thomas, Jennifer. Meredith Corporation, Steve, Doug, Michelle. Delta Magazine, I'll take the clap because Scott could not be with us tonight. Thank you. SATPI, Danielle Duchamp. Morris Communications, Mr. Morris, thank you. And TNG Retail Solutions, which at the last minute, they could not be with us here, but we appreciate their money. They did not read the fine print. You don't show up, there's no refunds. So we're keeping the money. But really, I mean, without the support of those companies, this event could not take place. I mean, it's the generosity of those companies, their help, their support to us, and knowing that, I mean, they are not here to get clients, they are not here to, I mean, they are just here to show the students, show the future industry leaders what the current industry leaders are doing and putting them together. So for that, I'm truly thankful. I truly appreciate everything you've done. One final note before I let you go back and eat your fresh salad that was just made at 4 o'clock. This experience and the entire logistics of the experience could not have taken place without my students and 3 of my faithful workers, helpers, assistants, led by Angela Roglaski. Angela, would you stand? My graduate teaching assistant, Anna Grace. My undergraduate teaching assistant, what's your name? You think I'm kidding? What's your name? Austin Dean. I know I should not drink before I speak, so Austin Dean. And Charlie, you think I'm going to miss mentioning you, our Associate Dean, whose signature on every single piece of paper. Thank you. And because of the limited time, and I'm getting new pictures of my granddaughter from Saltello on my iWatch, or they don't call it iWatch, Apple Watch. So I have to cut so I can see all the pictures, I have to cut my speech short. Enjoy your dinner. We will start shortly with our opening presentation and our keynote presentation. Have a lovely dinner. The bar is still open. If anybody wants a drink or anything, just make sure you have either your ID. If you are a student, make sure you have your fake ID to show that you are 21 years old. Thank you. Enjoy your dinner. God bless.